That smack reminded me of another smack we had. That was your
true, yeah.
Probably not as loud,
the
but
boom heard
yeah.
round
Here comes
Warner
the
Park.
boom. That's
Yeah.
what Drew was saying.
yeah.
You think people think that this is off the cuff or that we've planned this every single time?
I don't know. I can't imagine that how disorganized our thoughts are and how unscripted we are, that they would think that we're that professional that we could just pull off, you know. One of the things that I like about watching sitcoms or movies, it's always kind of fun to watch professional actors then pretend like they're giving a speech and they're nervous. So they're not nervous because they're professional actors and they're playing a part, but then they're going the step further and they're playing a part and acting like they're nervous, like in front of people or something like that.
Or pretending they're a bad actor or something like
exactly.
that. So they're so good at acting
Yeah.
that they're pretending to be a bad actor,
Right.
but they're so good at it that
It comes off.
Yeah.
And that's not us.
true.
That is not us.
I
This
have
is us.
zero
We're-
acting experience other than with my voice.
Yeah, we're not great actors pretending to be off the cuff, stumbling,
no,
bumbling.
don't tell them. We're pretending to be, really. Anyway,
we've got the 32nd episode of the original Father Son Voiceover podcast, and here in the Midwest, South Central Wisconsin specifically, we have had a streak of late October and early November weather that is. I mean, I've talked to the old timers, as much of an old timer as I am. I mean, I'm an old timer.
The older timers.
And I can remember days like this in late October and November where it got up into the 70s, but not a week or over a week. Mm-hmm. And right now you might hear we have rain coming down and every once in a while a thunderstorm, and it's November 4th. So it's very unusual weather, but we are sucking it up and enjoying it, drinking it in because we know what's going to follow.
Soaking it up.
Not sucking it up. Well, we're sucking it. We're sucking it up.
Oh, this weather's so bad. We're just gonna have to suck it up. Anyway, we've got.
Well, it almost feels like baseball weather. Oh, how about that silky segue? Talking about the award ceremony that we had for Home Talent Baseball. Of course, that's typically from May until August. But they have kind of their annual meetings and they've got banquets and things like that.
It's the end of the year awards for our section.
And so Hudson won some awards, some pretty prestigious awards for his exploits in baseball this last summer. So we're going to take a look at some video and talk about that. Of course, Joe and Deshaun and Drew play.
John helps out coach.
And John helps coach. And so and Demond and I and Mom watch. Once in a while, I'll even do the PA for the Mustangs. But anyway, all that aside, we're going to do that. And we're also going to have Mazomanie Sight-Wise, some things that have taken place or some things that are going to be taken. Yeah, some pictures, some people that stopped by and got full-size candy bars because that's what we said last week we were going to give.
We did.
We're also
going true to our word.
Yeah, we're also going to do another mocking of kind of a parody. A parody is a song typically, but you know what I mean. We're kind of mocking the mudslinging campaigns that we've had going on in our state and every state, national with the midterms.
You can't watch
that happen. Just are going to be happening when this
the day
commercial
after.
comes out. But the midterms,
comes out.
Exactly when the podcast drops. No, so we're going to do another one. We've done the Senate race. Last week we did one. I think it was at about
Ron
the
Johnson.
the 47-minute mark. If you ever want to check it out, it's a spoof on
it's a joke.
Big time joke about Ron Johnson hating cuddly kittens, and this time it's going to be about his opponent Mandela Barnes, and we're just making a comment not about politics, but more the mud-slinging side of politics. Making fun of that.
Both sides is just stupid, in our opinion. So we're making fun of it.
Yep.
We've also got
Wisconsin Heights Weekly.
Yeah, This Day in History as well. Drew will be here with that. Joe will be here. John won't be here. So we'll be missing couch potato number one.
There is a chance, though, that
yeah.
we might have some new technology that might allow us to have John
Right
in
here.
a Zoom type situation from Grand Rapids, Michigan. We'll see.
Yeah, you'll see it. It'll be right in front of your face there. So
I think that's about it, isn't it?
I think that is. Well, let's stop talking about it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hey, this is Bill DeWeese, pro voiceover talent and voiceover career coach. And this is the original Father-Son Voiceover Podcast.
Let's get this.
just another step.
Let's get this party rocking here.
Let's get it started. Welcome us in, Dad, to the 32nd episode.
32nd episode of the original Father-Son Voiceover Podcast. I'm Todd. I'm the dad. Hudson's right in the shot right now, and that's Hare's Brando. He's our fourth oldest child, son. Drew's the second oldest. He's there. He's the guy that brings all the interesting facts. He's the guy that you really love because he entertains, but he educates as well. And then Joe is our Mr. Keep us on the straight and narrow is what he is, because he's behind the computer, fact-checking all the time. John is not here. Well, actually, Drew is here usually. John's over there. And Demond is behind the scenes, always making us look good, always making eye candy for you folks that are watching. And so we appreciate you watching. I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to turn it over to Hudson, but we want you to like and subscribe and
Comment.
What is that?
Comment.
And comment? Okay.
Yeah, we'd really like you to do that. And if you could do it on YouTube, that would be even better. So if you want to support us somehow, you can go there and show us your support by liking it and commenting and
Subscribing.
subscribing.
And we'll have another reverse sponsorship
Yeah.
coming up this week in our
1855.
Yep,
Coffee
1855 Coffee House. So stay for that. And we have reverse sponsors, so we give free advertising if you ever want that. And you can also choose to sponsor our podcast too. Right now, we're looking at like just doing Facebook bump ups or
Promotions,
promotions. So feel free, let us know.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into the 32nd episode, Joe. As we always do, let's start out with Wisconsinites Weekly. It's going to be a little bit bare bones, probably, won't it be?
I'll give a little update on the state runners for cross country. So Kurt Caminiti finished 36th out of 151,
Wow.
Sophomore.
sophomore. And then Samantha Hurling finished 37th out of 149.
Oh wow, right behind him.
Yep.
There's a girls and guys race, right?
I'm
Okay.
just kidding.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was
They
just,
were real
I was just
close.
curious. Yeah.
That
How-
was
is she a
an old
senior?
Army joke.
There's an old joke.
Is she a senior?
I don't know what.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't know that.
Okay.
And
Maybe
it
something
didn't-
for next
It didn't
week.
provide that. It didn't provide that for me. So
Oh,
it's kind of basically
you were
on
looking for it.
Wisconsinites.
They don't even know what she is.
And then also coming up this Saturday, the 12th, the craft fair at Wisconsin Heights, the annual craft fair.
Huge.
Go get crafty.
And that is from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Do you know why
yeah,
they started that? I heard this rumor-wise. Do you know why they
I
did?
don't know the history of
I think
the
you said it
Wisconsin
last
Heights
week on the
Craft Fair.
podcast.
Did
Go
I?
ahead.
Well, I think
We're
it
kinda
was.
used to that.
I think it was from a knowledgeable source, reputable source.
Reputable.
I think the person, it was a gal, said that it was because we're typically out hunting. A lot of men. Not that there aren't women that hunt, but they kind of said, let's have something for us on this Saturday of deer hunting. And so they said,
Something this.
and so they started this craft fair, and it's gotten to be huge.
Huge, I would
It's-
almost
I think it's almost in 2 gyms, isn't it? 2 James.
Spills over.
Yeah.
I honestly
Fills
don't
up 2
know.
James?
Yeah,
I've,
2
I've
James.
never been there. Have you guys?
I've never been on
One
craft fair.
time, I think we had to do something for the band. You had to
Did
like.
they play music at the craft fair?
No, we had to like
Sell your instruments.
We had to, yeah, I wish. We had to. We had to be there for something. We had to represent something, or we had to do a booth, or there was something we had to
you're
do.
representing the band if you're going there for the band. I hope that's what you're representing.
Maybe some of the band members had craft items. Maybe some of the band members did they have craft items?
They
Some of
may
the band
have.
Did you
I
have-
don't know.
did you
Did
make
we maybe
some-
sold? I think
Did you
maybe
make
they
brownies
sold
from scratch?
Yeah, I think we maybe did brownies and stuff
Yeah.
like that. We sold there.
I protested against that because I wasn't in band. That was a silent protest.
If there
Well, it would have
are
had to have been a
people
silent
out there
protest 'cause he
that are
can't
associated, sorry,
Go ahead.
if there are people out there that are watching this that are associated with the craft fair, our apologies for not knowing more about it. But that's why we have this. Sometimes it might be knowledge about this day in history, and we hope that people will comment and say, "Hey, there's this and this and this," because this comes out Wednesday prior to the craft fair on Saturday.
Yeah.
So there's still time to get more, information out there for
Don't think
people
of
that-
us. Don't think of us as no account when it comes to the craft fair. We're just
You're just ignorant.
ignorant.
We're just ignorant.
so just help us out.
Joe is our resident pull toy.
Yeah.
He's got all these little statements in his mind.
We
So,
also
yeah.
Wisconsinites Weekly.
Yeah.
It's kind of merger between kind of spills into what we see Sight-Wise. We, a bunch of guys, go and play basketball usually at the gyms,
Yeah.
whether it was at Mazo Elementary or the high school. Well, just yesterday, we went and played basketball at the new elementary school.
Yep.
So that was kind of cool. That's kind of Wisconsin Heights Weekly. And their gyms are real nice. Real nice
Well,
gyms.
And yeah, it's very nice school and very well put together. I think.
There you go.
There's a little silky segue here, which will lead to Mazo Sight-Wise.
Yeah.
Is they had the previous week, they had Halloween celebration on Monday.
Halloween.
And they had their parade in the gym and stuff.
People dressed up.
Yep, dressed up, and
Did you dress up?
I did dress up. I was a Mustang, Mazo Mustang.
Oh, wow.
I wore my Mazo Mustangs stuff.
And
Take
didn't
your
you-
work to school day.
Didn't a lot of the people? You're an assistant, educational assistant, and didn't a lot of people get dressed
Some
a little
people
bit later?
did. Some people did. Some people didn't.
But you
But
came.
I thought
in
because
full
we did
garb.
at Black Earth. At Black Earth, when I was there, we would everybody would dress
Yeah.
up the whole day.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
then I got there and it was like, oh, okay, I guess not everybody.
Well, here's a baseball player showing up today.
So,
Did you do any base?
Yeah, I did
Practice, some
I
stealing,
did some coaching.
some coaching.
I did some coaching on
Send 'em
what-
home.
Yeah, what I wanted it to look like.
Yeah.
and
Did you get on them pretty bad when they didn't do
yeah.
what was right?
Get all over them.
Especially
Yeah.
the kindergarters.
Who won the award? Did they have a
They
teacher's?
they didn't have an award. It
Oh.
just was just dress up.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Participatory.
Yep.
And so did everybody pretty much dress up? All the
Yeah.
kids and pretty much all the staff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Was somebody like you said? There's the winner. That person stands out as the winner. They went all out, whether as a kid
Teacher or
Yeah.
a student.
I'd have to think about it a little bit more. It wasn't.
Did you go through the school without with your eyes open?
I actually walked through it closed.
Close.
I know
You
it
say,
so
"Hey, I
well.
don't want to be biased here. I'm one of the judges.
We'll bring it back if you do, because we're going to talk more about
Well, there
Halloween,
was some
right?
the secretary was or administrative assistant was she had like a piñata.
She was a piñata?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was kind of wild.
That's a sketchy.
They're dangerous.
Somebody, if they have a
And,
broomstick or something, they could.
And Scott Moore dressed up as Doctor Strange,
Uh-oh.
so that was pretty good.
He's been a
He's
guest
a-
on the
yeah,
podcast.
he was.
Yeah.
Scott Moore.
So
And
Okay.
is that all for?
and then the teachers went as Waldo.
The teachers.
Oh.
Where's
All
Waldo?
of them. All of them.
Where's Waldo?
Yep.
Neat.
So wait, one person was Waldo, and the rest of them were like the people that
But
they
like,
hide
there's
in.
so
No.
if you remember the Where's
Where's Waldo?
Waldo, there's only one Waldo.
Yeah.
But the rest of them, dressed up like Waldo. That's why.
That's why I
it's
was
kinda
asking.
goofy.
It was one person the real Waldo, and other
Oh.
ones the people that they kind of hide the Waldo in between.
There you go. I don't know. Good question.
Can't know.
All right. Well, we got some
anyway,
pictures.
that's a silky segue into
Mazomanie
Mazos-
Sight-Wise.
Yes.
Dad, tell us a little bit about that. What was it? We had Halloween.
I would give one thing.
Oh.
I guess it's going away from the segue, but I was driving home the other day on Midland and saw a bald eagle
Wow. In
Feasting.
Mazo.
feasting on a
Feasting
deer
on a
carcass.
feasting on a deer carcass.
Yeah, you know, not to top that,
But go ahead.
but on the way home from Mount Horeb one time, several of us saw.
So this isn't Mazomanie Sight-Wise.
This is Mount
Well,
Horeb
but
Sight-Wise.
it's local, and so we were right down in the valley there, not far from the Vermont Church, close to Black Earth, and we saw a bald eagle, just 20 feet off of the road. It was snowy, and he was sitting on top of a carcass, and so we got out, and they're intimidating because they are big birds when you get closer to them, and if they just decided to do something to you, you could not stop them.
Big bird
You'd
flew
be
through here.
you'd be running and screaming because they've got sharp talons
to the
and a beak that's
Hooked beak.
Hook
and
nose.
they got these eyes that
got like
kind of
a-
look
yeah.
I don't know, they're kind of glassy, but they're
Look
like they
through
want
ya.
to kill you.
They're looking through you.
Anyway, that's my story.
Okay.
Nothing more American than
The bald eagle.
bald eagle. Other than a turkey, maybe, because that's what Benjamin Franklin wanted it to be.
Oh, true. You wanted
That
that
is
to be the
true.
national.
That's
And so is that
That was just. I'm just saying that's
Mazomanie
what I
Sight-Wise?
saw.
That was just
Yeah.
okay.
In Mazo, I saw
And
that.
then
in
and then
Mazo.
of course this last Monday, a week ago, this Monday. This
Yeah.
is on Wednesday. A week ago from this past Monday was Halloween.
Sure
and
was.
you guys said to all of the tens and tens of people that watch this, stop up at your house, the home of the original, one of the homes of the original Father Son podcast, and you guys were handing out regular size candy bars.
Sure did.
Regular.
A novelty, typically of this area anyway. And so some people visit us, and we got some pictures, and so we were going to react to that on our new TV.
Yeah, let's start out with the first video. These people,
That's where you normally
the
start.
Stevensons,
Come on
actually
up and get your
watch our podcast.
treats.
Hudson's greeting them.
Yeah. Oh, what's your
So
favorite?
here, she was,
Get that. And Natasha, what are you? You're a cowgirl.
she knew what she wanted there, which is smart.
And we've got Aaron Rodgers.
Why are you shaking it?
That's a scary one.
I was trying to get him.
Hi. What are you? What are you? Princess. Okay. Then we've got another princess. And we've got a chef. Wow, that is a nice look, Tyler.
Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball.
Your favorite one.
What if we would have had pasta for him in the bowl or something like that?
Yeah, perfect.
So that was a Stevenson's.
Do you have the picture of the
Tim and
Stevensons
Maria's
then, too?
kids.
Yeah, please get that picture for us.
I mean, look.
Yeah, that was the one. You
Yep,
were on
you got it.
You were on it.
There they are.
Perfect.
Oh,
So
yeah, mom and I are in there. That's great.
Sure are.
Tyler's got the big chef.
We got to
That's the-
fix our light. That's kind of a
Yeah.
askew there.
I wonder if people are getting a glare off of these things, because I'm getting a glare on that.
I think
one.
it's the picture.
No. I mean, I'm getting a glare
I don't
off of
think they're
that
getting
light
a
there,
glare.
but maybe they're not good.
I don't think so.
No, I
But
think
you
it's
can
just,
see
they're just-
that's one of my favorite things to do is get a picture of all of our friends with us.
Here is
She's almost tipping her cap. Like, howdy, you know?
there's Vanessa, and she is a princess. She's
Yes.
the one I asked. There is Michaela. She is a Packer fan,
She's Aaron Rodgers.
or Aaron Rodgers, like I said. And then Natasha is a cowgirl, and Elena is
Another princess.
another princess. Tyler, obviously, probably one of the best outfits we saw. He's a chef. And then Jordan, the little one
Yep.
here,
Yep.
he is
Pumpkin.
a pumpkin.
Yep.
So
And then there's Tim and Maria and
Austin.
Beck and I and Austin.
yeah.
Yep.
We've done this has been something we've done for a couple of years where we've
Tried to,
had
yeah.
pictures
Yeah.
and as the kids are growing up,
Yeah.
try to get a picture of them each year. So this is maybe like the fourth year we've done it.
Yeah, and you can see out out your front window there that it's light yet and it's warm. The windows are open.
Was it like
was
65
toasty.
degrees or something like
One
that?
of the nicest Halloweens we've had.
Recent,
Easy.
yeah.
I would say.
Here's the next one.
There's Johnny.
Oh, forgot he had cutoffs.
Oh.
Why was he going with
Oh, we-
cutoffs?
we
Joe.
got-
Candy bars. There's Reese's with almond, or sorry,
And turn it all the way up.
Hershey's with almond. Reese's with regular chocolate, Kit Kat, or Reese's. What do you want?
You're a packer.
Or if you can,
Couple cowgirls. What are you?
These are the Johnsons.
What are you? You're a wolf.
A wolf.
what kind you want?
She didn't like that very much.
She's nervous.
Anybody come in and have a
There it is.
I asked them to come in and have a picture with us, and I
Yeah.
think they did, right?
They
Yeah,
did.
look
Yeah.
up.
Joe will show it to us here
I forgot John had cutoffs. Why was he? Why
because it was so warm out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we
John's
don't have to.
It was a gun show.
blooded. There's no doubt. So
It-
tell
it-
us who these people are.
So
There's
on
Becky and I,
the-
obviously.
On the far left, on the far,
And candy out to people. You gotta cut off.
I think he got a shirt on later. It came to his
It wasn't,
mind, I
it
think.
wasn't even like it was just a cutoff.
Yeah.
It's a
It
was a
long
deep
Yeah,
cut.
yeah, deep cut.
it was
cut
at
off.
least orange.
Why did I forget? Oh, Mom's got a question.
Yeah, I know. She's saying something.
We'll come to you later. We'll come to you later.
He's,
If
he's
you
just
look
happy
way
to
in the
be
back,
here.
there's Dan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's way in the back in their van.
I don't know if they can see that.
Whoever
So
did that
Brittany
wolf,
and the
whoever
baby.
did that wolf,
She's got
Drawing
two sets of
is
ears.
great.
She's got ears right above her eyebrows,
makes-
and then ears
That is a nice. That is
It was
a nice wolf.
it was a
Otherwise it'd be
defect. It was a
tuft of
genetic
hairs.
defect.
double ears.
So
Anyway,
tell us who everybody is.
Gracie's on the left.
Yep.
She's the oldest.
Cowgirl.
She's a cowgirl. Hallie
that's
is the next
theme, it
oldest.
seems like.
Cowgirl. Heath,
Deeds.
Deet's mom.
Deet's mom.
He used to say that when he was just starting to talk. He did Deet.
Ma.
Yeah, he's a Packer. He
all
looks
he
like he's
Randall
Randall
Cobb.
Cobb.
Yeah.
And then we've got Maya.
Either that or,
She looks like a
Doug
princess.
Peterson.
Or wait, what is she?
She looks
I
like
think
a
he's
nurse.
Doug
Might be
She's a nurse.
Yeah.
She's a nurse. And then Megan is the wolf, which I think is a pretty good outfit.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a pretty good. And then dad's there and mom's there, and Megan looks like she's having the time of her life.
Yep. Yeah,
Here's the
so
next
we
one.
appreciate them stopping by and seeing us. And here's
Oh, there he was. That's the shirt I remember.
Here's the Wicks.
Okay.
You.
Tim Wick family.
You're a builder. We've got ourselves an elf
I think that's Buddy the Elf.
and Spider-Man.
Ben's got that look behind his
Are you a
eyes.
wizard?
Hermione?
Are you Hermione? Oh, wow. Okay.
That's Jocelyn.
Hermione
Yeah.
Granger.
And there's Tim. Tim was one of our guests as well.
Wow.
So those are his kids.
Yep.
Just
Then we got a picture.
Yeah.
those
That's
are
not all of them.
those
is it?
are huge
Well,
boots.
Ella's not here.
Oh yeah, Ella's
Oh,
not
okay.
here, but that's only one.
Well, they've got
two,
the
three,
Avery's
four.
the littlest one. She,
Okay, yeah,
She didn't
she didn't
come.
come in.
Those are
But we've
huge
got-
boots.
Yeah. Ben.
Those I think his feet actually fit in.
Ben is on the far left. He's got the Spider-Man
It's just
outfit,
Spidey Man.
and then Finley, who is how old is Finley?
I don't know. Is he 10 or
Maybe
something
10 or
like that?
11 maybe.
He looks like he may have just gotten off work, and
Yeah.
he's the dad
Yeah,
of the group
exactly,
there.
yeah.
He's
He's a
he's
big
10,
boy.
and then Hermione Granger is right next to
Jocelyn.
right next to Dad. That's Jocelyn, and then what's her name?
Elizabeth.
Liz. Yeah, Elizabeth is
The elf.
Is an elf. Yeah,
Elf Elizabeth.
elf. Yep. So
Those are fun. I
Yeah.
like those
Yeah.
pictures.
and then this is tough. I'm sorry, Cal. He sent it to me via. We wanted to get Cal and the Radical podcaster.
The Radical podcast.
It's really grainy, and we've tried our best, but
We'll get
what we're
another
gonna
picture
do
of
is
it.
we're gonna have Damon put it on the screen. It's of his oldest daughter, Lainey. And
Granny
she's-
Laney. That's
we don't
Granny
want
Laney.
Granny
Granny
Laney.
Laney. We don't.
We
but
want-
she's a Laney bug. She's a
Yeah,
ladybug.
Oh, okay.
that'll make Cal mad. And guess what
yeah.
he'll do then? He'll become more radical.
Yeah,
He'll
he's gonna
become
just
radical.
tear us apart in the comment section. But yeah,
It's
they
impossible.
so Cal and Kylie are faithful watchers of the original Father Son
Well, we got
voiceover
their kids
podcast.
watching too now,
Yeah.
right?
They sure do. We showed that last week on
Train them up
on
right.
the podcast. That was her with us on the phone, which was cute. So that's what we had for what we saw
Mazomanie
Sight-Wise.
Sight-Wise.
Is the kids we got to see. We didn't get to see Lainey, which was too bad. They had a real busy slate, so they couldn't get to us. But that was
Yeah.
just fine.
Must,
Maybe
must
next
have
year.
hit every single home in Mazo and Black
Yeah,
Earth.
yeah. So we'll make sure we put the picture that looks better on there
Yeah,
for
perfect.
them so people can see the ladybug outfit. What do you got, Dad?
Just a couple of things.
Okay.
Mazomanie Sight-Wise. One thing is we've talked a couple of times. Jonathan's brought this up down right across from Wick, the Kroger/Roundy's building down by the railroad tracks. They've been doing some big time work. They took it way, way down as far as the parking lot is concerned. So I asked Bob Wick, who always is a wealth of information in so many areas, and his intel, he said, was that was just a parking lot. That's just their way of doing things. They seem to want to do things right. So they took it. I mean, it was down 4 or 5, well, I'll say 3 feet. They went down from the original and started all over again. And that's just going to be part of the parking lot. So, and then let's see, I think just one other thing. Friday, November 11th at 6 p.m. at the Iron Hop Tap House, downtown Mazo. They have a gentleman by the name of Marcus J. who's going to be performing live, I believe, starting at 6 o'clock. They're doing that a lot down there. You know, the Apothecary, they'll have some live music, and the Tap House has live music. And so they're trying to make it kind of an event type thing. Sometimes they'll have a
Bringing the community
food truck,
together.
They'll have a food truck down there and different things. So, you know, do your part, support these businesses, and we'll keep trying to do our part on reverse sponsorships. I think that's it. We had another, I don't have a lot other than to just say we had our second mudslinging
Political
commercial.
ad.
We did one just to make fun of all of the negative.
They get so tiresome.
Yeah,
at this
they
time
get
of
so
year.
really
Both-
dumb.
Both sides get so tiresome.
I wrote
really
a couple
dumb.
of them and voiced them, and we played one last week. And then
Ron
we played,
Johnson hates kittens.
Yeah, hates
Cute,
kittens.
cuddly
And this one
kittens.
was Mandela Barnes hates ice, not the immigration ice, but the real ice.
Ice you put in your water.
Yep.
Yep.
Substance.
He wishes that we would lose the recipe for ice.
Yeah, exactly. So
Well, give it to a Norski. Might happen.
right. Yeah, the old joke that Norway doesn't have a recipe for ice because the guy with the recipe died.
Yep.
So
Yep. Terrible.
Yep.
That's all
I got.
Thank you for bringing those things, guys. And we'll move on next to our interview section, which is going to be, I guess, about me and home talent. So
And thanks
If
for
you're-
being you.
do the best I can.
Pressure for next year.
Yeah, there is pressure, yeah.
Yeah, no
I've
pressure on
already
me.
started working out this
I don't
year
know.
for
I mean,
next
you
year.
were an all-star.
They're not going to
This
send
last
me
year.
again. They're going to make that mistake and
Well, that's
send me
because they
again.
want somebody else to go
500 in
to.
the All-Star. Leave it be. I say
what I
just
want
leave
to.
it be. Be 500. Say, yeah,
gonna
I
turn
played
it
in the
down.
All-Star game.
I'm gonna turn it down.
I don't.
I
I'm
think
turn
next
it down,
year-
hit 500.
Next year at the thing, if Drew's not there, there's going to be chants from the crowd to bring Drew back. They're going to say, Drew.
I might show up in the parking lot and just
give
wait
the-
for those
give the
chants.
people
Your
what you-
spikes in the back.
Give the people
You
what
should
they
just
want.
be doing stretches and warming up in the stands
yeah.
with your jersey on.
Like the one guy that used to play. We won't mention his name, but he stretched out and worked out
Also
harder
a
than anybody.
great
before I went
salesman.
in. Yeah, right.
Also a great salesman.
Yeah, inside joke.
Yeah, there it is again. All right. Come back and check out the interview section right after this.
Mandela Barnes hates ICE. No, not the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. He literally hates ICE. Barnes wants you to drink warm beverages. Barnes wants your ice cream to melt. Barnes wants your winter ice skating parties to end. If Barnes could travel back in time, he'd even take the ice out of the 1980 Olympics hockey team's Miracle on Ice team. Let's turn the heat up against Mandela Barnes's hatred of ice. Paid for by the Refrigerator Ice Makers of America. Not endorsed by any candidate or candidates committee.
I think the first thing people are going to notice is our new television. Can everybody see that? That is going to make this. It's going to take it up a level. Not that it's not
gonna
at
kick
the
it up.
highest level. It's
Kick
gonna,
it up a notch.
It's going to even be the highest level. The other thing I think they're going to recognize is where did Todd's punt, pass, and kick awards go? Well, I know that, but they're gone. So there must be a bigger reason. There must be bigger things going on as far as the podcast and talking about somebody's accomplishments.
Sure.
Hair's brain.
You gotta always do that to me.
That look on his face.
By the way, Dad was the one who wanted to do this. This wasn't my idea. Like, hey, let's talk about me. So let's get that straight.
That's the truth. I twisted his arm to do this. Seriously. And Drew and Joe are accomplices here. They want to be up here because they want to talk about home talent. It's the off season. It's November. World Series just got done last night.
Yeah.
Right? Did you want to introduce us? Because people don't even know what's going on here.
Well, you started us off, so this is the in place of the interview part of our 30-second episode. We've been trying to get people onto our podcast, but it's busy season right now. So
we got a lineup though.
We've got a lineup coming. We've been working on it, and yeah. So don't worry, we'll get back to real interviews coming up soon. So yeah, I guess we're going to talk about the past home talent season. Hopefully we'll be able to get Dan O'Connell, who is kind of the godfather of Mazomanie home talent. He brought some people over and they started Mazomanie home talent.
From like the motherland or?
From the motherland. Yeah. They were on
just brought some people over.
On the
I thought
the
baseball was an
Mayflower.
American sport.
But I think he just brought him over.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Now, Drew's the only one repping the Mustangs.
That was
He's
an
got
accident.
the hat on.
Yep, that was,
It was
an
an
accident.
accident?
Well, I just kind of put them on this morning.
You're
Whoops.
just wearing so much Mustang swag.
I have
that
so
it doesn't-
well, not as much as Mom has, but
So anyway, this is the 32nd episode of
Correct,
the original
it is.
Father-Son voiceover podcast. John and my wife Becky, they're not able to be here because they're on their way back from Michigan, and so John will be here next week. And as I was saying just a little bit earlier, the World Series was just finished last night. Houston Astros won the whole thing. And their season is very, very long. The home talent season, because you're not professionals, it starts, you guys start preparing in March, right? Maybe even a little bit. You stay in shape and hit in the basement and out in the garage and stuff like that all along. But typically you start about March, April. Would that be true for baseball? And then it ends. When does it end with the Final Four?
August is, usually probably in mid-September. This year it was late September, I think, because of a couple rainouts. So,
and for people that are not familiar with the home talent, I don't think I'm overblowing it. There goes your bat.
there goes my bat.
I don't think I'm overblowing it in saying that it's definitely. It's a man's semi-pro, not at the level of A, AA, AAA, or anything like that, but it's got some pretty good players in
Quite
it.
a step up from high school.
There's a lot of
quite a
guys that have played. Most of the guys there have played college, or there's some guys that have been drafted. There's also guys that have played a fair amount of minor league ball. So it's
played a little ball
It's
game.
at least high school level and up.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
some teams aren't that great.
Right.
They're a little bit lower. And then there's some teams that have guys on their teams that maybe shouldn't.
although I would say that I would think any of the teams just pitching alone and just them being older guys, they would be able to beat most high school teams around here, even though they're not special.
Even
in
the
the
higher
league.
high school teams.
I would think so.
I would think so
yeah,
too.
I would think their best pitcher would be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So it's
they
a fairly
would be able
good
to hit the kids.
It's a good league, and it's a lot of the towns, villages, cities in our area have home talent. Black Earth, Cross Plains, Arena now, Middleton, Verona, all of these towns right around here and cities have home talent. And so you guys finished what this year? What did the Mustangs finish?
10-4.
What was
10-3 with a 0-1 in the playoffs. We lost right away.
We
in the
lost our
playoffs.
first game in the playoffs. We had a good regular season, and then we just kind of fell short right away.
Yeah,
so
we decided to head into the off season early. We
Yeah.
had some trips planned.
Yeah. And there's a Thursday night league, which is kind of supposed to be a little bit of a developmental league, but guys still take it seriously, and they should. And then the Sunday league is kind of the premier league. And were we going to just show them a little bit about, some videos that I think Mom took of the announcing of the team, and then we're going to look at one of your highlights, and then talk about the awards banquet that we went to up in Sauk City, which is about 11 miles away from our village here in Mazomanie, and talk just a little bit about that and see some films.
So this is the start of our last home game this summer against the Wisconsin Dells. What are they, Rivermen?
They're the Rivermen.
Yeah, so we played against them, and this is just Dad does the announcing from time to time, and so we wanted to show that. So you'll hear his voice, and then each of us boys that play, Joe plays, Drew plays, I play, Deshaun plays, and then John helps coach. And plays on Thursday nights, if we have 8 guys and he's the 9th. So,
and some of our guests you'll hear their names too, because we've had William and BJ. BJ's an assistant coach, and William played until he went to the Marines this last summer.
Yeah, so this is our home field here, and I guess Joe's going to play it whenever he's ready. Hopefully. Can you hear that pretty well?
There's Joe Bubby.
There's Peyton.
Shortstop number 3, Hudson Barsness. Batting cleanup, the designated hitter number 15, Alan Seabrook.
Big Al.
Hitting 10th and playing first base number 10, Jeff Schaefer. Batting 6th and playing third base number 11, Drew Barsness.
There he is.
Batting 7th and playing second base.
All-star Drew Barsness.
Tim Hewitt.
All-star Drew Barsness.
Yeah, all-star Tim Hewitt.
Deshaun Barsness. Batting 9th and playing right field number 8, Tylen Parman. And on the mound this afternoon, number 5, Will.
There he is.
Yeah, there he is.
There he is. His last game.
Just big time Al. He did big time Al. One right past him.
Huge.
She's locked in.
Jake Hansen. Number 18, Jager Shinneman. Number 24, John Barsness. And assistant coach, BJ Ruler.
There he is.
The umpires for today's game are Scott Rose and Chuck Keister. And now, we'd ask all those who are able.
There you go.
Yeah, that's Mustang's hype, getting excited for next year already.
You bet.
Yeah.
Were you going to show Hudson's highlight real quick?
Yeah, we got to show Hudson's highlight.
Yeah.
How many home runs did you have this year?
I hit 7 on Sundays and 2 on Thursdays, so I had 9 altogether. It's the most I've hit in a season.
Yeah. Yep. Hudson is a good hitter. There's no doubt about it. He's the best hitter in our family.
So this is the last one I hit.
Ball is stoked.
They thought they had a chance. They didn't have a chance.
They were yelling, "Hey, get under it!"
That hit the house.
You can't get under it when it's behind the fence.
Yeah.
So that was one of the last ones. You can keep it playing. Okay.
There's Big Al ready to greet you.
Yeah, he is big. He's a big man.
See the guy on the right, the catcher? He knows it's all over.
Yeah.
He knows they don't have a chance. Took the air right. You know what? It reminds me that smack reminded me of another smack we had. That was your.
True, yeah.
Probably not as loud,
the
but
boom heard
round
the
Here comes the boom.
yeah.
What I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then, so that was the final game of the regular season, and that was your final home run, number 7 on a Sunday.
It's too bad we couldn't have gotten one on in the playoffs. That would have been nice.
It's true. I wish I would have.
They started with one.
That led to this.
They did start with
And
one.
so just was a couple of weeks ago, or was that just last week?
Just last weekend.
Last week
Yep.
we went up to the bowling alley / restaurant up in Sauk City.
The Riviera Bowl.
This was the northern section. Is that what it's
northern
called?
section
They're kind of
banquet.
divided up into sections and such. And so this was the northern section, and these are some of the luminaries and some of the people that won. Maybe point to them, Hudson, and just before we
I
go.
don't exactly know what some of these guys' names are. That guy on the left, he's a representative of Middleton.
Yeah, Mr. Middleton.
And what did they do?
Middleton won. They won all their games. This year we had 13 regular season games. Usually we have 16, but after COVID we had 11, 13, and hopefully next year we'll have 16. they won. They were undefeated. They're one of the best teams.
They were the North champ.
Yep. And then they went to the Final Four. They won all their games in our section. So they went to the Final Four. And then next is me. They also had the Coach of the Year. That's what he has in his left hand closest to me. And then there's me. I won the batting title, so I had the highest batting average.
And that's one of your trophies there, right? Which one is that?
Yep. So it's right here. It's a little guy with a baseball bat. I batted .509. That was my average.
Wow.
And then I hit 7 home runs, which...
Keep going. Keep talking about it.
I hit 7 home runs. I think the next closest guy maybe hit 4.
Yeah. Which is too little.
Too little. Yeah. I'm almost the smallest guy out there. Anyway, then the one on the left, because of winning the batting title with the average, and then also having the most home runs, I was also voted the MVP of our section. So that's me. Yeah. Yep. Next to me is Blake Bieri. He was the pitcher, the most valuable pitcher in our section. We played him actually the first game of the year, and we roughed him up a little bit. We beat him 10-0.
Not physically.
Physically, yeah. We beat him 10-0.
We made him into the best pitcher.
He's usually one of the top pitchers every year, and we almost always struggle against him because he's usually the pitching is usually ahead of the bats. But this year we got out, and I talked to him there. He said that it was his second time throwing.
Yeah.
So that
as a pitcher, you can struggle. Fair. You can struggle if you haven't thrown a lot.
How fast does he throw? Does he throw in the 80s?
Low 80s.
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah, he's nice. Seems like a nice fella.
Besides
at least,
that,
you got to be ornery as a pitcher on the mound when you're playing. You just have to be. I mean, but he was smiley and talkative and seemed like a nice fellow.
Yeah, so that's Blake. And then
who did he play for?
He plays for the Wanakee Local 9, I think is the name of their team. I think. Correct me if you're from the Wanakee area and you know. Anyway, the next guy, do you know what?
Sounds like a local bar or something.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Or a VFW.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the next guy, I don't remember what his name is.
Randy Weinholtz.
Randy Weinholtz. He's the coach of the Cross Plains Businessmen.
Yeah, they're the businessmen.
Will Doherty, who went to high school with me and played on the same baseball team and caught.
Bryce Stewart
went to
didn't
Heights
play on my team, but
went to Heights and played with Deshaun.
Yeah,
Deshaun played with him.
He coaches the Cross Plains team. They're the team that actually knocked us out of the playoffs. They came to our place and beat us up. So they went to the Final Four on Thursday nights. So they're in the Thursday night league. They also have a Final Four. It's not as coveted as the Sunday league. But then next to him is what's his name? Big Don Molitor. Yeah. He's from Reedsburg, and he has actually 2 sons that play, and
3.
3. Well, he doesn't play right now, but
he's
real
on the
young.
team.
Yeah,
It's Thursday.
Anyway,
Bo.
He plays.
Bo Molitor.
Can I tell a quick story about that?
Go ahead, tell a quick story.
Just real quick. It doesn't sound like anything. I always wanted to call him Paul Molitor.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it straight because in the 70s, 80s, there was a third baseman called Don Money. And then Paul Molitor played for the Brewers when I was growing up. His name is Don Molitor. You see how I could get
his
that mixed up?
His brother's name is Paul Molitor.
Is it really?
Yeah, he has a brother named Paul Molitor.
But not the Paul Molitor, obviously,
And they played when you did your first stint with Mazo. He was playing, and they were very good.
They were.
He would hit
bombs,
home runs.
He would swing out of his shoes mostly.
And his son is a really good hitter.
Yeah, he was actually second in the batting title to me.
Just barely.
For the second straight year. No. They've had another guy.
He's like 22 or 23.
Yeah,
so he's got some years ahead of
him.
him. He's going to be good.
Yep. So they also went to the Final Four. They beat 4 Thursday nights. They beat Cross Plains to go to the championship game, which they lost to Verona, who also won the Sunday, which is the second time in 2 years. We went and played against Stoughton last year and lost to them in the Thursday night playoffs championship, and they also won the Sunday.
Right.
So
Verona did it this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
So also then on the far right here is Kent Adler. He's one of the kind of commissioners of our league, of the whole league. He helps get things set up. He has for years. And he's also kind of a representative. He used to coach Wanakee. So, those were a bunch of the people that were there. There was a couple representatives from each team. And
was Blake at the North Carolina Oyster Festival too?
Who?
Blake Bierry.
Why?
Not that I know.
He's got a blue wristband like you do.
Oh, really?
Maybe he was there.
Never thought about that. Maybe he was. You never know. There were thousands of people there. Mm-hmm. Are we going to are we going to, play the video, or is that enough?
I don't know. Joe Bob's in charge.
I mean, I took the video, so let's see.
Yeah. That's another picture.
They don't appear to be looking at your
That's
camera.
me and Kent. He wanted a picture.
Yeah.
With me. And he took one with everybody else.
This isn't it. Let me look.
Yeah, there you go. It's probably one of those. He liked that. That was a good joke for him too.
That was a good work joke.
Was that it?
That's a good work.
That was I didn't get the longer one because it was really long.
Okay. I like Don Molitor a lot. I just want to go on record saying that because he's a big man, and being right alongside of him and seeing him, you just want to keep him happy. I mean, you want to.
You like him just on principle.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah. So that's kind of all we've got for that, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you wanted to chit chat about?
Did you you showed the two trophies?
And this is the home run title bat.
From 2019. Oh, is this 2022?
No, 2019.
They didn't give me a home run
this
bat?
year.
You wish they'd give you a bat.
I did. I personally would have rather had another bat like this one than these two things. I'm happy either way. It's fine. But
that's good.
I was hoping for another bat because it's kind of a cool
just start a
memorabilia
collection
piece.
Yeah. Well,
it's a little bit cooler, I think.
I think it'd be cool if you just keep winning that home run title. Just see what they give you.
Yeah.
Maybe if at some point you might
they'll give me
be
a
able to even
championship
suggest.
I'm kind of surprised.
What do you want this year?
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised that Jeffy hasn't asked for that in his man
Oh,
cave.
I paid for it.
Good idea.
Donate. I wouldn't donate.
Either that or
He
Steve
can
Schmidt.
afford it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Why does Steve Schmidt want it? That and your dad's Letterman jacket.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you spoke of Dan O'Connell, who's kind of the guy that started Mazomanie Mustangs baseball. He said, and he was going to check on it. So I don't know if this was his first reaction. He stopped me when I was walking down to your house, just a few doors down, and he said that he thought that you were the first Mazo Mustang to win the MVP. There's been Mazo Mustangs that have won the batting title.
Yeah.
John Adair.
Yep.
Maybe Scott Hauge. Or, I mean, he was
I don't think
he was a
ever won
prolific
one.
baseball player, though, Scott.
He was in the top 5, I think,
Yeah,
a bunch,
he was.
top 10.
He'd be one of the guys that I would refer to as probably one of the best players that have played for Mazo.
Yeah.
Scott Hauge.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's others. I'm
Right.
not trying to shortchange anybody, but
Yeah, I mean, a couple in this room, but yeah,
We can talk about that
we
with
can talk
Dan.
about other people.
yeah, that would be
That's
nice.
fine.
We'd like to get Dan on here because he's got so much history with
Yeah.
that, and we'd like to hear some things. So
But he said that as far as he knows, you were the first and only Mazo Mustangs in many decades of having a team.
yeah,
So that's all I've got. I appreciate you guys walking through that. And
well, thanks for the people that sat through that. I don't know if that was that exciting, but we did it anyway. We did it together.
Because it's our podcast.
Yeah, that's true. All right, next up we'll have This Day in History with Drew. So join us if you're interested in something like that. So
Even if you're not interested.
join us. Even if you're not interested, just join us. Just do it out of the goodness of your heart. Taking a trip into the 1855 vault here. Just a little bit of the vault, the old Mazomanie Bank. Oh, this coffee's hot. Okay. I got myself a coffee, and we're down here in the vault at 1855, and you are watching the original Father-Son Voiceover podcast. Hello, everybody. My dad's got another reverse sponsor he'd like to talk about. So who is it, Dad?
today's reverse sponsor is the 1855 Coffee House right down here in downtown Mazomanie. Have you had a chance to visit the 1855 Coffee House in downtown Mazomanie? It's located at 1 Broadhead Street, easy to remember, right at the Mazomanie flagpole. Michelle is the owner, and she's created a warm and inviting place to gather with friends and family, with acquaintances, with business associates, where you can grab a coffee, a latte, a cappuccino, or other great specialty drinks, as well as some excellent food items like bakery items, sandwiches, and salads. The 1855 Coffee House is open Wednesday through Sunday from 6 a.m. until 3 p.m. Stop in and order, or you can order online. You can visit their website at 1855coffeehouse.com for more information. That's 1855coffeehouse.com for more information. The 1855 Coffee House in Mazomanie is a proud reverse sponsor of the original Father-Son voiceover podcast. Now back to more of the podcast.
Well, welcome back to the 32nd episode of the original Father-Son voiceover podcast. Drew has this day in history, correct?
I got some this day in history, yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, we only have 50 states, so we got to be careful. We're running out of those.
Unless they add some more.
That's a
We could do that.
Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C.
Yep.
Go for it.
I don't know if there's anything else.
I'm excited.
That's a resource we have to be careful with.
I'm excited
50
about
states.
this.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Okay, let's get this cranking. Let's get this going here. It's a day in history, and we're all the way back in 1429. Joan of Arc and Charles de Albret, because I think they were from France, right?
Yeah.
Liberate the heavily fortified town of Saint-Pierre-la-Montier after a siege. So that's Joan of Arc, 1429, doing some dirty work there, fighting. Liberating heavily fortified town. I don't really have any history about Joan of Arc. I probably could have gotten into a little bit of that, but
you weren't even 100% sure that she was from France.
I'm pretty sure she is, though.
Right.
Okay.
Especially when she's hanging around with that other dude.
Is it bad that I just found out that it was Joan of Arc?
Who do you think it was?
I thought it was Jonah Arc.
I mean, I don't know how. I mean, it depends on
what.
That's what I thought. From the Ark. Jonah and the Ark.
Well, you know, and the way that they spell this is the way that Joan Ayala Carpentier spells.
Joan no Fowles.
Yeah, that's how he spells his name. So some people might think, if they know Joan's spelling of his name, they might have thought that this was a man.
Joan. Yeah, true. So you got a note there, Hud.
There you go.
There it is.
Well, you were this
Full circle.
this day old when you learned
So
that.
how would
Today
Jonah
old.
and the Ark? How is that fitting together?
It's Noah and the Ark, not Jonah and the Ark.
That's
in the
true.
Bible.
I don't know why that makes any sense. I don't know.
Well, for you it did, which is okay. That's all that matters.
Welcome to
Hudson's
not
Road.
having any idea what's going on.
Living for almost 26 years.
Yeah.
The what?
Almost 27 years.
Jonah Arc? That's what you thought it was?
Jonah Arc.
Jonah and the Ark.
No, I
Jonah-
just said Jonah Arc.
Yeah, Jonah Arc.
Jonah Ark.
Whoops.
Mr. Ark.
Yeah.
It's his last name, Jonah Ark.
And he
Jonah.
He thought he was a man too.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But Jonah built the ark and then jumped off and got swallowed by a whale in Hudson's stories.
What, did Noah pushed him off?
I don't know. This is like
can't
adding
catch a
characters.
break.
Yeah.
You
Well,
brought
that's-
that on,
that's
you
my
brought
own
that on
fault.
yourself.
Got to make your
Yeah.
own breaks. Well, we've got 300 years, fast forwarding 300 years, and Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart premieres his Symphony Number 36. And because we have the TV now,
Because we do.
we're going to go ahead
Full
and let
screen
that
that
one
puppy,
rip.
baby.
We're not
Oh,
going to do the whole
wow.
thing because it looks like it's 30 minutes. So we'll just give you a little taste, a little
Long
sample.
song.
15-second sample.
Sampler.
It's going to be
yeah.
our whole thing. How's that sounding in there? Can you hear it pretty well?
Yeah, okay.
Look at us.
Why don't you go to something in the middle now and just see what? Because that doesn't sound familiar at all to me. Although I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I could.
I'm picking some great spots.
I like how those directors. That's not how I learned to direct. It doesn't seem like they're following him. It's just like he's waving his arms.
They're just looking at. We were always taught to look at the conductor.
He's the show. It's like he's the show.
He's looking.
Yeah, but
there's a couple people.
Yeah, but
yeah, I think
it's because he's distracting them.
Is there maybe like an exciting ending we could hear? I'm sorry to all the people who are
not music lovers.
That are music lovers.
Oh,
there we go. Oh, yes.
This guy's work. That guy with the black
hair. My arms would be so tired.
That guy with. Let me go back here. That
violins.
This guy back with the black hair. He's working harder than the guy in front of him.
Oh, getting some body sways in there.
I think somebody told him.
Wow.
Now that looks like he's directing.
Nah, he's just kind of playing around. All right,
I wonder if those if the musicians just play and then he's up there practicing. They're practicing their music together, and he's just practicing, looking like he knows what he's doing.
I would
because he's sitting there and he's just going kind of like this, and it's like.
Then he had his stick in like
baton.
He's going like this. I mean, like I've never seen somebody.
Well, it was only for the right side of the room, so he holds it on this side for the right.
We need to look that up. I'll keep going on here so we can keep moving on. But look up what the stick.
What the name of the stick is?
I don't think it's a baton. The musician stick.
Is that the thing?
Let's clarify that.
The sticky.
Yeah.
But see, now everybody's going to see what I'm looking up, which that's not bad necessarily.
But it might be distracting, but they can hear what I'm saying. And
well, that's good.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so
don't look at the screen. Just listen now.
Yeah.
All right. Now they're
don't be distracted.
Now they're going to watch the screen.
In 1839, the Newport Rising is the largest large-scale. Let me try that again. 1839, the Newport Rising is the last large-scale armed rebellion against authority in mainland Britain. So,
did you? Hey, Drew, why don't you take a look?
A baton is a stick that is used by conductors primarily to enlarge and enhance the manual and bodily movements associated with directing.
There it is. It is a
an
baton.
Ensemble of musicians.
There you have it.
I thought it was Joan of
Arc.
Drew didn't think it was a baton.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if I just was making sure that was
conductor's wand or something. But
it sounds like baton is what they want to call it. Here's a little info about the Newport Rising. It was an armed rising in Wales by Chartists. Chartism was a working class movement for political reform, whose demands included democracy and the right to vote with a secret ballot. On Monday, the 4th, November 1839, approximately 4,000 Chartist sympathizers under the leadership of John Frost marched on the town of Newport, Monmouthshire. I probably should read some of these before I.
Monmouthshire
College.
Yeah, that's part of the fun, though.
Yeah, it is.
So anyway, that's a political uprising, Newport Rising, last large-scale armed rebellion. And they were talking about the rebellion, and there weren't that many people killed and injured, which is a little bit interesting because you'd think armed rebellion, probably a lot more people would be in trouble.
What would be the difference between an armed and an unarmed?
Well, that seems pretty simple.
Yeah, somebody have armed with weapons. Others would be unarmed.
Is this the same guy?
Not the same guy.
Nope, that doesn't look like him.
I can see one thing this television is going to do is it's going to
distract us.
It's going to distract us if we aren't careful, and it's going to
put us over our time
big
limit.
time. I mean, because
we'll keep moving along here.
Yeah,
I don't have a ton of these because I decided to put more meat to some of these as opposed to just kind of running through them.
Okay.
In 1841, the first wagon train arrives in California after a 5.5 month journey, 1,730 miles over the Sierra Nevada from Missouri.
Wow.
First wagon train arrives in California. 5.5 months.
Yeah.
Imagine going 5.5 months in a wagon train.
Nope. I think it's bad. I think I feel pretty tough when I do something far, far, far less than that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine. There's a lot of things like eating,
mm-hmm.
going to the bathroom,
sleeping,
showering.
Well, I don't think you had to worry about
clothes.
showering. I'm not
Right.
sure
But
there's
what I
a lot of
mean
showers.
is, I mean, that's a different level. That's a very different level.
I think
of
showering
person.
would be the least of my concerns in the sense of everybody smelling like that once you get there. I mean, it's not like you're the only one that hasn't showered.
I think you started smelling like that on your way. I think I don't think middle end and begin or middle and end
But the
or
end
the beginning
could be worse than the beginning.
I suppose, but I think you started off.
You're starting
smelling
off
that
at-
bad.
What if
Everybody smelled the
everybody
same.
took a
Probably,
nice
but for
shower
the
or
most part.
bath before the trip? They're like, hey, we're going on a trip, so let's take a shower and let's smell real good for this trip. And then however many months it took them to get out there.
I mean, yeah, you'd be accurate because, I mean, but I don't know if that was the case. I don't think a lot of people were
Then you're
taking
still
baths.
starting
That is
off,
true.
whether you start off showered or unshowered, you're starting off in the same spot as everybody else. You're just
And it would only take
yeah.
you about a week on the traveling like that to start to not smell good, like the horses and everything like that. Yikes.
Yeah. I wonder what the speed, or how many miles per day they were able to get.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose you could figure it out. 5.5 months.
Could I ask a favor of you?
Please do.
Can you hand me one of those little note cards there?
Yeah, let me do that
Not
for
that
you.
one, but the
Are you going to do math?
I'm going to try.
Oh boy.
I'm better at math than I am with history. Joan of Arc.
All right, here we are. 1845, the first nationally observed uniform election day in the United States. It was the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November. James Knox Polk was president at the time in 1845. So the first nationally observed day for an election. So they decided Tuesday after the first Monday in November, which is coming up here. I thought that was...
that is a good...
That was
November
actually-
4th, was it usually?
With this post, it's actually yesterday.
No. It's
Yeah,
not, it's not, yeah, it was, but that was the first ever one. That was the first Tuesday after the first Monday. It was the 4th.
Yes.
But it's not always on the 4th.
Yes, okay.
Okay. We're right on the same page now. In 1846, just a year later, American inventor Benjamin Palmer from Meredith, New Hampshire, patents the artificial leg. Benjamin Franklin Palmer of Meredith, on November 4th, 1846, received patent number 4,834 for the artificial leg. The artificial leg uses springs and metal tendons. The springs and tendons act like joints. They allow for bending and flexibility. Before Palmer invented the artificial leg, people used peg legs, which don't provide
That's a big deal. What year was that? Sorry.
1846.
Yeah, that's a big deal back then because with the Civil War, you got a bullet in your leg, they just chopped the whole thing off.
Yep.
You needed either a peg leg or an artificial one. So that was in high demand back then.
Well, I mean, the Civil War was after this, but it would have been nice. It would have come in handy.
It was a precursor.
Yes, but I was just saying that was around the time.
Yeah.
that
That's true.
That people before
you're not
that, I'm
wrong.
sure they cut people's legs off too.
I'm sure they did
just in the-
similar type things. Yes, you're probably right.
Can you imagine?
Might need a disclaimer on that one.
Yeah, it's possible. But yeah, I mean, can you imagine if you got one of these artificial? I would guess they'd be expensive. Probably people that couldn't afford it still had peg legs. Somebody in your face, like bending, using their legs, saying, "Oh, so you're still using the old peg
He's
leg?"
like, I gotta stretch out my
not
my
me.
wooden leg. Imagine, my hamstring's a little.
I bet you it'd
my
be
wooden
interesting to
hamstring's
see
a little tight.
the difference between what they are now
Yeah, true.
and what they are back then.
So they've come a long
Amazing,
way.
yeah.
In 1854, lighthouse built on Alcatraz Island in San Francisco Bay, the first lighthouse on Alcatraz Island.
Wonder if that was that. I'm sure that was probably to keep boats away from slashing into it.
I would think
wonder
so.
if they would also used it as like ways to, because I've heard that people would try to escape.
I don't
And
know.
so they
I
used
think
it
this
as
was long before
Oh, okay.
the Alcatraz
prison
was there.
Okay.
1854, because I think the state of California wasn't recognized as a state until
When we'll figure that out when we get there.
at some point, 1849.
We don't want to spoil
maybe,
it for people.
something like that. 1856, James Buchanan was elected as the 15th U.S. president. Buchanan served immediately prior to the American Civil War. He remains the only president to be elected from Pennsylvania and to remain a lifelong bachelor.
Yeah, I remember that.
Every other one have been married.
He was the 15th?
Number 15.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a fun
Lincoln
fact.
was 16 right after that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, moving along here. 1862, American inventor Richard Jordan Gatling patents the hand-cranked Gatling machine gun in Indianapolis.
Cool.
The Gatling gun is a rapid-firing multi-barrel firearm that is 26 and a half inches in length and weighed 170 pounds.
Oh,
imagine carrying that. They'd obviously have to carry that on a wagon.
It took a 4-man crew to run and could fire up to 200 rounds a minute, which back then I would think was, that's a lot of rounds. Yeah. Surprisingly, I don't think it was used that often. My wondering is if it was expensive to manufacture.
Yeah.
There's a Gatling gun.
That
right
one
there.
on the far right looks pretty good too.
Yeah.
That looks good.
Wow.
That one on the far right. If you go straight down, there you go.
And if people are running right at you, it's going to be deadly.
Can't really
but
see
trying to crank that over and stuff would be
that might be him right
easiest,
down there, Joe.
Yeah, that's probably Richard Jordan Gatling himself. Who knows?
Can you put that into full?
Is that a Gatling?
I don't know if people can see that well, but
I think we're getting off. I think
I think Joe's.
We'll maybe have them on, post a little higher or something like a bigger picture.
Maybe if you can, yeah.
We got a lot of patents in this one. 1873, dentist John Beers of San Francisco patents the gold crown for your teeth.
Had a fair share of those.
Yeah.
Gold?
No, never
Platinum.
gold. Now they do
people
them
can't see them when you're dancing.
colored. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I have. I just got that put in, which I still had pain recently. In case people want to.
I'm sorry for you.
Yeah, maybe I could just have a real quick interview about that. 1879, African-American inventor Thomas Elkins patents the refrigerating apparatus.
It's a good invention.
The device used metal cooling coils enclosed in a container. These coils cool the temperature far below room temperature, enabling stored items to be chilled and preserved for longer. Yep. So there that is.
Did you know that in, I probably told you this before, but this was one of the mind-blowing things that in Alaska, they use refrigerators, or Antarctica, they use refrigerators to thaw their food.
Oh.
Because
it's so cold.
It's so cold.
Yeah.
You got to keep it warmer,
thing.
actually.
Yeah.
Refrigerator,
yeah. Which is just wild.
Yeah.
They probably keep most stuff outside, and then it's just frozen solid, and they got to bring it in.
Talk about freezer burn.
Yeah.
You got a lot more?
No, not a ton.
All right.
1879, James Riddy patents first cash register to combat stealing by bartenders in his saloon in Dayton, Ohio. He later sold his patent to John Patterson. Patterson. Play on words there. For $6,500. Wow. The company that John Patterson bought for this thing, they became the world leading manufacturer of these. So $6,500. I wonder if James Riddy was like, "Oh, can I get that back by any way?"
Wonder why he got rid of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, so it was the cash register. You would think was so that patrons or robbers wouldn't steal, but it was so that his employees wouldn't steal.
I would have guessed though more so that it was just kind of a way to organize the money. I mean, that's I wouldn't have thought that it was because of stealing, because I thought
how did
they have
work,
access
though?
to
because then his employee. I mean, is he the only one that had access to the
cash register?
The cash register then?
No, I don't think so. I would wonder because I looked at the first one ever made. It looked like they had dials and stuff, and so it probably opened up certain drawers so that you could put the money in. It's probably so that you had less access to it, and it would have had to, like a safe or something like that. If you put money in a safe, it would be obvious if somebody's sitting there trying to open up the safe. They open it up and then they start taking money out. Well, if the money's just sitting in a drawer, they could just kind of be, "Oh yeah, thanks," and then they put that real quick. And I'm sure it didn't deter all stealing.
You still probably could.
Cash register.
Cash
First
register.
cash register. And you wonder, of course,
Ricky.
they always have a ding.
Mhm.
You know, the old ones used to have you.
Oh,
push,
wow, look at that.
You push some
Looks like
things
a
down
clock.
and it would make noise. So
Maybe it had a clock on
the
it.
ones
yeah.
down there, like to the left there, about third one down, is kind of the old-fashioned one down there that
Yeah,
I
or over there.
imagine.
Yeah.
Click on them, Joe. Why don't you? Just so maybe people can see
All right,
them.
I'll keep moving ahead
I don't know
here.
if they can see them.
1884, Grover Cleveland beats James G. Blaine for his first presidential term. Only American president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms.
Full screen. Yeah, there you go.
That
So he
was
served,
Grover Cleveland.
then was not serving.
Right, and then he came back.
and then- okay.
1904, the first stadium built specifically for football was Harvard Stadium. 1904. That was earlier than I would have guessed, because a lot of times they shared fields with baseball fields and whatever else.
Yeah.
So
a lot of
that's-
professional teams did that.
Yeah, a lot of it's true.
That was true, Dick.
There's Harvest Stadium.
Wow.
Harvard Stadium.
Yep. Yep.
Who'd they share that with?
Nobody. That was the first ever built for specifically for
There it is.
Wow, it
football.
almost looks like a coliseum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a horseshoe.
I'm sure it's not as big as the horseshoe itself in
Right.
Ohio State.
1922, Howard Carter discovers the intact tomb of the pharaoh King Tut in Egypt. So that was a really big discovery back then, I would think.
Yeah, they're still playing off that.
They still are.
He's traveling around all the time.
Yep. 1924, California legalizes professional boxing. It had been illegal since 1914, so for about 10 years it was
there for a little
illegal
bit longer
for professional boxing.
Huh. Wonder why. Somebody get hurt maybe?
Yeah, I wonder.
That's why
Or
they stopped
died?
that's why they stopped the UW program. They had a boxing
Did somebody
team.
die?
Wow.
I think somebody did, yeah.
Yeah. It's King
Yep.
Tut.
So they
He looks
just
like all of the other
Pharaohs.
pharaohs. Yeah.
1929, Richard E. Byrd, Lawrence McKinley Gould, and their polar expedition team began. This is so difficult sometimes. In 1929, Richard E. Byrd, Lawrence McKinley Gould, and their polar expedition team begin a 2.5-month, 1,500-mile dog sledge journey into the Queen Maud Mountains, the first exploration of the interior of Antarctica. Speaking of Antarctica.
That doesn't sound
Had to
like
bring
much
their
of a-
fridges
that doesn't
with
sound
them.
like much of a queen's name. Queen Maud.
Yeah. These people are just built differently, though, because I would never think to get out of my nice, comfy home and get on a ship and travel a long, long way to where you know it's going to be cold. And then when you get to the cold place, you say, let's go further into the cold. That just, no home built, no nothing, no base.
what would be worse, that or the wagon train?
Oh, I think I would go on the wagon train.
I would too,
Yes.
because I'd
Easily.
rather be warm.
Yeah.
than
And you get to
freezing
stay in
cold.
America.
Yeah.
How much
good
more you
point.
got there?
There's a few more.
Okay.
1939, this one kind of blew my mind. 1939, the first air-conditioned automobile, the Packard, exhibited in Chicago, Illinois. The 1940, because it's a year
Yeah.
ahead, 1940 Packard was the first car to offer factory-installed air conditioning. Air conditioning in 1939. I didn't realize that they had that capability.
Who could afford it though?
Right.
Seriously.
By 1969, more than half of all new cars sold were equipped with AC.
Yeah.
Some brands affixed window decals to promote their air-conditioned automobiles as well.
Look at that. There
Yeah,
it is, right
there's the
there.
Packard.
The Packard.
Packard
Yeah.
sedan.
There's not too many
White wall tires.
farmers, blacksmiths,
Yeah.
average people that could afford that
I
dog.
doubt it. 1953, new baseball balk rule gives the batter option of accepting the outcome of the pitch or the balk. Before that, I don't know what they were doing up there. Pitchers just had free reign to kind of goof around.
Or was the new rule that they could decide whether or not they wanted the outcome or do it over? So like, let's say he grounded out. He'd say, well, I don't want that. There was a balk. They say balk, but the play keeps going. And then maybe they just decided later that, because in baseball now, if there's a balk, play's
Everything
dead.
stops, yeah.
Everything's dead. You know what I'm saying? The rule might
I
have
wonder if
been
it was called after, like it was like the umpire saw it, didn't call it until after the play, and then said, nope, there was a balk. You can decide now.
Yeah.
because if
Maybe.
that's how it was
Maybe, I
done,
don't
then that
know.
makes sense. But if
I mean,
it
it
was
says
just yelled out
batter
like it is
option
now,
of
that'd be
accepting the outcome
confusing.
of the pitch, which is not the outcome of the play.
So the pitch, if it's a ball or a strike.
But what if he hits the pitch for a home run? I want the outcome of that pitch because it was a home run.
I don't know. I
I
guess
don't either.
we're yeah.
guessing.
That's where people will have to dig on their own.
Yeah.
Got about 4 minutes left.
1979, 500 Iranian students. I think they're Iranians. Iranians? I think they
Iranians.
probably can say both.
Iranians?
Yeah.
Loyal to the Ayatollah Khomeini, seized the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, taking 90 hostages for 440 days.
Yep.
1970. You probably remember
Lived
that.
it. I was on
We Didn't Start the
I was
Fire?
on the radio reporting that all the time, and then Ronald Reagan became president.
Wow.
And they were released just a few days later.
Wasn't that in We Didn't Start the Fire?
Yeah.
Ayatollah in Iran.
Yep.
Yep.
Russians
Billy
in
Joel.
Afghanistan.
And in 2001, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, first film adaptation of the book series by J.K. Rowling, starring Daniel Radcliffe, premieres in London. Titled Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone in some markets, which I thought
Which
it was probably all
ours.
markets. But
Yeah.
Philosopher's Stone.
yeah, I didn't know that. Here we go. Well, I mean, I knew Harry Potter. I just didn't know the Philosopher's Stone.
I think that's
wasn't
the
aware.
only one that's diverted from its original.
Here's a couple fun holidays that we can just chew on here. National Candy Day.
Could chew on that.
Yep.
Silky segue.
The Fountain Pen Day. It's today as well.
Do they still make fountain pens?
I don't know.
And you can also use your common sense on today, which I hope you do every day.
We could use a little bit more of that around.
So today is Common Sense Day.
You bet. Use it.
But don't. But then
You
use,
don't
abuse
but
it.
then
You
use,
are
then
free
use what
to
you
use it.
learned from Common Sense Day and use that the rest of your life.
I would say
Don't
every
just
day
use,
should
yeah,
be
don't
used
use
Common
that just
Sense
on this day.
Yep.
Don't limit it.
There you go.
Don't forget what you've learned today.
Yeah.
Be commonsensical, and
'Cause
then
that's
just go
just
have
common
that be
Yeah.
your pattern of life.
There you go.
Yeah. I like that.
Maybe you could, in the background while Hudson's taking us out, you could do the Symphony number 36. Just take us out with that.
Yeah,
Ooh,
good
that would be
idea.
kind of nice.
Just take us out.
Oh no, we got rid of it.
I
That's
did
too
get rid of it.
bad.
That's okay.
We'll get better at this. Well,
Yeah.
you'll get better at this.
So
Yeah.
So we're glad that we could do that spoof, another spoof mudslinging
For
Yeah.
Mandela
thing just to make
Barnes,
fun
we
of.
also did Ron Johnson.
Yeah, we did
just
Ron
both
Johnson.
sides.
Yeah.
It's just good
And,
stuff.
All sides aren't
we did
safe.
our reverse sponsorship. Thank you for
1855.
1855 Coffee House Michelle.
Went there this morning.
Yep. And so thanks for letting us reverse sponsor you. And I think that's all. That's all I can remember from this podcast
You
to
should
thank people
take
for.
us out. Joe Bob's going to start playing the music, and then you'll take the camera and zoom in. Oh, as we're
who?
going out.
On
TV,
that.
so that we can get the last little bit.
Wow.
All right, here we
Well,
go.
thank you for watching the original Father Son Voiceover podcast and our 32nd episode.
And our new technology.
Yeah, and we got our new TV here. We hope you like it. We're going to be fiddling around with it a little bit.
Yeah,
doing
right
some
now it
new
feels like it's
things.
distracting a little bit.
It is a little bit, but I think we'll get better at it.
We'll get better at it. Yeah.
So Joe's going to play that. Let us know if you guys have any questions or you want to add anything. Add it in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe. And this has been the 32nd episode with our new TV.
Taking us
and
home.
we'll
Thank
take
you
you out
guys.
with the Symphony number
Thank
36
you guys
on this
for,
32.
for showing up
Yep.
and doing it with us this
You
week
bet.
again.
It's for all the music lovers out there, the classical music lovers. We're highbrow here at
I felt
the.
like we were taking them out with the music, and you're talking over the music.
Well, he's got to. I thought he's going to zoom in.
Oh, okay.
Is that what you're doing, Hud?